Where were you when the coup attempt took place, and how did you feel when it first happened?
Um, okay, let me just explain the situation a little bit. So when the 2015, 2016, July 15, when the coup attempt happened, I was actually with Mr. Gulen that night, Mr. Fethullah Gulen that night. I was in the same room with him, and I remember one of his student, actually one of his followers, brought the news to him in an iPad. And when first time I remember Mr. Gillen saw the news, I saw his reaction. He was very shocked. And all I remember, all he did was he told his students to come into the room, and he started in his chair and prayed for his country. And that night, over 250 people died. And I remember him crying because of that. So it was just very crazy because 45 minutes right after the coup attempt, the Turkish government came out and blamed Mr. Gulen and his followers. And I was like, I was with Mr. Gulen that night, and I saw what he did with my own eyes. So that's what I felt like. I wanted to go out there and share this message with the whole world.
Wow, thank you. So what changed in your life after the coup attempt happened?
Well, last time I visited actually Turkey was 2015 in summertime, right after the season, right after the NBA season. But of course, obviously um, the quits affect my family. Obviously, my dad was a professor. He got fired from his job. My sister went to medical school for 6 years, and right after the quits, and now she cannot find a job because she carried the last name with me. My actually one of my so I got two brothers and one sisters, and one of my brother, the little one, he was trying to play basketball, and he literally got kicked out in every team that he attended. But how he affected me, obviously, I'm in America. The communication is zero right now. It's still zero. Because it's like it's so hard to even communicate with my mom or dad, or just even call them or text them, because right after the coup attempt, the Turkish government sent actually the police in my house, and they raided the whole house, and they took every electronics away, the phones away, computers away, laptops away, because they wanted to see if I am still in contact with my family or not, and if they would see any text message, any email or any missed call, they will be all in trouble, all in jail actually. So that's why that's how it affected me.
What impacts of the coup do you still feel today?
I mean, I think right after the quit attempt, I mean, you see not just my family. I play basketball in NBA. That's why a lot of people knows my story. But what I'm
Mhm.
trying to do is, I'm trying to use my platform, the voice of all those innocent people out there who don't have voice. Just like I said again, so many people knows my story because I play in NBA. But there are so many people out there. Their situation is way worse than mine. The some of the facts that I mean, there are thousands and thousands innocent people are in the jail right now, waiting for help. There's a lot of women, there's a lot of babies and kids out there. There's there's a lot of people, academics, just doctors like my dad or whatever, lost their job. There's been lots of schools and dormitories or universities are shut down. So I think how he affected me, actually it's crazy because my little brother, when the last time I was in Turkey was 2015, and he graduated from like high school in Turkey, and I visited him that day.
Mhm.
And just because of I visited his school, the Turkish government just knocked down the whole school.
Wow.
Yeah, it is pretty wild, and they just destroyed the whole school just because of I visited the school. So it just these are just somewhat of effects, but there are so many effects out there. But people being affected, people losing their jobs, losing their loved ones, losing their home and businesses. But it just gives me so much hope that how strong that people being because I mean all they care about is just telling the truth. All they care about is just going out there and just do what they do best and just speaking the truth and be honest with everybody.
We were wondering if you knew or you know about the previous coups in Turkey, and if so, how do you think the most recent attempt is different from those?
I mean, I am 27 years old, and I have before. I mean, this I really never witnessed any coup attempt before in my life, obviously because of my age. But the difference between this coup and the other coup, this coup was just a stage coup. It was a fake coup attempt. It made so it will fail. You know, I feel like there's so many reports of so many people out there that people are believing that the government did the coup to his own country, so the president Erdogan can take over and be the one man show. Because right after the coup attempt, there's been so many, like I said this before, so many judges, prosecutors, or police, or people are in jail right now. So I feel like I read about them before, but I never experienced anything like this. But I feel like the biggest difference is this was a fake coup attempt. The other ones, the previous ones, were real. The last thing I will say is, whenever I go out there, I mean, you guys probably seen like my interviews or whatever articles or op-eds out there. Whenever I talk about my country, people thinking that I don't like my country, and people are wrong. I love my country. I love my people. I love my flag. My problem is with the regime in Turkey, because mostly right now, if you look at it in Turkey, sadly, there's no freedom of speech, religion, or expression. Turkish government using their power to abuse, human rights violations, and there's no democracy. But so that's why, just because of they control the media in Turkey, they can just say, oh yeah, we are the best country in the world in Turkey, but outside of Turkey, everybody knows what's really going on. But I hope, all I'm asking from your class, or whoever listening this, from your teacher or whatever, it doesn't matter what religion you are. We just all need to get together and pray for those innocent people. I think that's the most important thing I am asking from your teacher and your classes. And the last thing I will say, I hope they're basketball fans, and I hope they're Celtics fans. That's the last thing I will say. And let's go Celtics.
This was all just like really great, valuable information, and we appreciate that you took the time out of your schedule.
No, I appreciate it. I hope it will help. What you guys doing is so amazing. So I'm glad that I can be part of this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, Anna.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Görüşürüz Ayşe.
You
Bye.
too.
Görüşürüz.